Hello everybody, Mitch and Mr. Hockey here, and tonight is the first night of the 2019 NHL entry draft. All the mock drafts are done, but I'm going to read you the mock draft from the Hockey News, a magazine that reports weekly about hockey. This video is for the first round only. In this first round, there are 5 teams with 2 picks in the first round. They are the Kings, Sabres, Avalanche, Rangers, and Ducks. Okay, so let's read the mock draft and see what the Hockey News has picked. And I'm going with them because I think this is maybe the most reliable source. Anyway, so the Devils have the top pick. They will select Jack Hughes. The Rangers have the second pick. They will select Capo Caco. The Chicago Blackhawks with the third pick will select Dylan Cozens. With the fourth pick, the Colorado Avalanche will select Bowen Byram. With the fifth pick, the Los Angeles Kings will select Vasily Podkolzin. With the sixth pick, the Detroit Red Wings will select Kirby Dach. With the seventh pick, the Buffalo Sabres will select Trevor Zegras. With the 8th pick, the Edmonton Oilers will select Cole Caulfield. With the 9th pick, the Anaheim Ducks will select Alex Turcotte. With the 10th pick, the Vancouver Canucks will select Matthew Boldy. With the 11th pick, the Philadelphia Flyers will select Peyton Krebs. With the 12th pick, the Minnesota Wild will select Alex Newhook. With the 13th pick, the Florida Panthers will select Victor Soderstrom. With the 14th pick, the Arizona Coyotes will select Philip Broberg. With the 15th pick, the Montreal Canadiens will select Thomas Harley. With the 16th pick, the Colorado Avalanche will select Raphael Lavoie. With the 17th pick, Vegas will select Ville Heinola. With the 17th pick, with the 18th pick, the Dallas Stars will select Moritz Seider. With the 19th pick, the Senators will select Arthur Kaliev. With the 20th pick, the New York Rangers will select Ryan Suzuki. With the 21st pick, the Penguins will select Cam York. With the 22nd pick, the Kings will select Samuel Poulin. With the 23rd pick, the New York Islanders will select Jacob Pelletier. With the 24th pick, the Nashville Predators will select Bobby Brink. With the 25th pick, the Washington Capitals will select Brett Leason. With the 26th pick, the Calgary Flames will select Spencer Knight. With the 27th pick, the Tampa Bay Lightning will select Ryan Johnson. With the 28th pick, the Ducks will select Nils Hoglander. With the 29th pick, the Carolina Hurricanes will select Connor McMichael. With the 30th pick, the Buffalo Sabres will select Vladislav Kolyachuk. And with the 31st pick, the Boston Bruins will select Igor Afanasyev. So obviously you can see here the defending Stanley Cup champion, the St. Louis Blues, don't have a pick here. I didn't think it was necessary to go find all the other teams that didn't have a pick in the first round. But I just noticed that now. Now, if someone asked me right now, Mitchell, what's your dream job? If you could have any job in the world, what would it be? It would be to be either a player, a coach, or a general manager for the Montreal Canadiens. In this video, I'm going to get to do that for 15 teams. Here's how this video is going to work. So, I'm doing this from the Montreal Canadiens perspective, and they've got, the mock draft says they're going to pick Thomas Harley, but obviously those mock drafts can be really wrong. You never know. it could always end up differently. So I went through the top 15 picks, and I identified 4 picks that could potentially fit out on the Montreal Canadiens, and why the team selecting him wouldn't maybe want to select them. Okay, so I have the player, the team that's going to pick him in the mock draft, and some notes about him. Number 1, we have the New Jersey Devils selecting center Jack Hughes. For the Devils, this is their first overall selection in the last 2 years. In the last 3 years. The other time, 2 years ago, they took Nico Hischier and made the playoffs. With the second pick, the New York Rangers select Capo Kakko, right wing. Capo Kakko scored the winning goal for Team Finland in the IIHF World Juniors this season. And I can't wait for the matchup of they're right across the Hudson River from each other, so this should be good. I think at least if that's in New York City. And also after this point, the first 2 picks kind of are like in this draft are kind of that's the way it's going to play out. Now we're entering the crazy zone where anything can happen. Pick number 3, the Chicago Blackhawks will select center Dylan Cozens. They're just going to take the best player available and try and build around it. With the 4th pick, the Colorado Avalanche will select Bowen Byram, a defenseman who had a terrific WHL playoffs. With the 5th pick, the Los Angeles Kings will select Vasily Podkolzin. They will be taking the best player available. He is a right wing. Alright, here's the first player that the Canadiens that could fit on the Canadiens. With the Detroit Red Wings selecting Kirby Dach. I think that's Kirby Dach, a center. The Detroit Red Wings have a lot of centers, and they need wingers and defensemen. So I think that if they don't get him, somebody else will take him. But this guy could slip, which could impact the draft. With the 7th pick, the Buffalo Sabres will select center Trevor Zegras, a terrific playmaker. But who's he gonna pass to here? It's not like he has a McDavid on his line. And by the way, the Oilers are next. I do think if he's not taken now, he'll be taken soon later. With the 8th pick, I told you the Oilers were on the clock. They will be selecting Cole Caulfield, a right wing. They're hoping, they say maybe if they're trying to get an Alex DeBrincat 2.0 to play with Connor McDavid, to get him the puck so he can do what he does, which is really good. Right, he's the second earliest winger chosen aside from Capo Kakko, but you know why? Because that's already decided. So Edmonton can't pass up this opportunity to get a winger to play with Connor McDavid. 9th pick, Alex Turcotte to the Anaheim Ducks. He's filling in for aging centers Ryan Getzlaf and Ryan Kessler. 10th pick, Matthew Boldy to the Vancouver Canucks, left wing. Reason why they may not, I don't know why it's good, is because, so last year they got Elias Pettersson, and he's a left wing. Now if you're getting another left wing, that doesn't help Elias Pettersson, and we see what the guy can do. But if there's another guy on his line, he's going to be a lot better. This doesn't help getting another guy on his line. I mean, it gives you some depth, but you can't take him over to right wing. The Canadiens, on the other hand, and this is the 10th pick, Matthew Boldy, they're saying he'd be the 10th pick. The Vancouver Canucks have the 10th pick. If the Canadiens can shift guys from the left side to the right side and vice versa, because they have guys who have played who are wingers, not specifically left or right. But so it's like why do the Canucks need another left winger if they've already got Elias Pettersson? Shouldn't they be focusing on helping his line, getting centers and right wingers? And yeah, so that this is another player that maybe could fall to the Canadiens. But obviously that would be luck, and I do not think the Canadiens should try and trade up because they'll have to give up a lot and they're going to regret it. Okay, next is Peyton Krebs going to the Philadelphia Flyers. He's a center. He can learn from Claude Giroux. The only problem is if the Flyers aren't a good team, Claude Giroux, the captain, he will be getting media attention and it will be a mess, and you don't want to have a developing player in that. So it's a bit of a risk, but he can learn from one of the best. Pick number 12, center Alex Newhook to the Minnesota Wild. It's going to be a fresh injection for the Minnesota Wild, and I think they need that. Alright, number 13, unlucky number 13, is it going to be defenseman Victor Soderstrom to the Florida Panthers. And this is another guy the Canadiens could get because the Panthers have Aaron Ekblad, which is good. But in order for them, they have the second-ranked power play. They could, in the league last season, they could trade some of their offense to upgrade their defense. One guy isn't going to do it, so maybe they would pass on him. And if the Canadiens could get an offensive defenseman to get it to Domi, to get it to Drouin, to get it to Gallagher, that would be big. First defenseman taken in the 13th spot. Wow. Number 14, Arizona Coyotes. Philip Broberg. Now we got a defenseman again. He's a great skater. And he's a heavy hitter, and he's good. And again, Arizona needs offense. They need goaltending. They have a terrific defenseman like the Panthers in Oliver Ekman-Larsson. If he falls to the Canadiens could eliminate a guy like Jordy Ben, who's an unrestricted free agent this offseason, and I think they're going to let him go. He could replace a guy like that, and that would be good for the Canadiens. And that brings us to the Canadiens at the 15th pick. So they're getting one of these guys. And so the five guys that I think they should select, perhaps that they would have a chance and they would help, is Kirby Dack, is Thomas Harley, Matthew Boldy, Victor Soderstrom, and Philip Broberg. But if you watch my video, should the Canadiens trade the 15th pick, you know that I think maybe they should because it could add on to a deal. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe, tell your friends, and I will see you in the next one.